What's going on, guys? Welcome to this video. We're talking about the aerobic energy system and how it comes into play in combat sports. So if you're a fighter, this is for you. Make sure you watch through to the end. So first off, before we start, I want to be very clear. I'm not here to break down all of the internal processes going on in the body. I'm not here to quote studies and really break down the science. My goal is to make this applicable. My goal is for you, the athlete, to be able to take what I talk about here, go apply it to your training right away, have a better understanding of what you need to do to train this system effectively and the results you will see in the fight from it. So one other thing as we get into it is all of the energy systems are also working together at all times. This is something that I've had a couple of people criticize a couple of my videos on because I talk about working on the aerobic system or working on the alactic system or whatever. But all of them are working together. Now, when I talk about we are working on the aerobic system, that does not mean the other systems are not involved. That just means we're focused on the intensity, the time durations, the intervals, everything like that to maximize the contribution from the aerobic system in the training we're talking about. Now, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that satisfies anybody that has, oh, but what about this or that? But anyways, let's get into it. Goal is practicality, making sure you can actually take this and use it straight away. So what is the aerobic system? As a fighter, the aerobic system is your baseline of energy. So basically it's in the background and it's just producing energy at a sustainable pace through the fight. All three of these systems, if you've heard me talk about them before, are producing energy. The aerobic system is producing it at a longer duration, generally at a slower pace throughout longer times. So if it's not well enough trained, essentially the energy starts to run low, right? You're using the energy while you're fighting. The aerobic system's not able to regenerate it fast enough. And that's a big part of what will keep you feeling gassed out, keep you feeling slow as the fight goes on. And the other thing is because it's regenerating energy for you, the faster we can get it working and the more efficient we can make this system, the better you're going to be able to recover between rounds, regenerating energy for you to use in the next round. So the mistakes that I see fighters make consistently with training the aerobic system, number one, is thinking every session needs to be killer, right? The harder I work, the better result I get. If it says 5 rounds, I'm going to do 12 rounds just to make sure. Now, the reason that this doesn't work, I want to be very clear, or not even, I don't even want to say doesn't work. The reason this is not the right way to go is because plain and simple, you're fighting for a specific duration of time, right? Now, it doesn't mean every session you do should be the exact duration of your fight, but the way we train is our goal is to have you the best condition for the duration you need on the day you need it. So this is one of my favorite analogies for this system. The way a lot of people train, they just think the more water I pour into this bottle, the more full it's going to become. And that works until you're up to here. Once you're up to here, it doesn't matter how much more you pour, it's just pouring out of the side of the bottle, right? So the goal when it comes to training isn't just how much water can I pour, how many rounds can I do, how hard can I go? The goal when it comes to training is filling up the bottle by the night of the fight. So the goal of your aerobic work should be hitting the aerobic system, not absolutely murdering your body with every session you do. Number 2 is only doing road work. Now, this is one that I feel like I will say until I'm blue in the face, yet I will still have people just say, yeah, but what about, and then name some fighter from back in the day that only ever did road work and was still a good fighter. I want to make it very clear. If you are a great, highly skilled fighter and you use road work as your primary method of conditioning, you are still going to be a highly skilled fighter. However, the fact that someone has a lot of skill and does that is not what makes them a good fighter. It's the fact that they have a lot of skill and they train hard, right? It's not the running itself. Now, the other argument I'll hear all the time is yeah, but mental toughness. And it's yeah, you know what else builds mental toughness? Getting into a cage or getting into a ring and fighting people, whether that's your teammates in sparring, the drilling you're doing in your sport, all of these things are mental toughness to a degree. You just going out for a run, it's not better than you building the aerobic conditioning in another way, right? So only doing road work, massive downside. There are a lot of other tools that can be much more effective for you in building the aerobic conditioning you're looking for. Now, number 3 is only relying on skills training to build the aerobic system. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this part because that's not really the goal of this one, but the skills training you're doing is more building aerobic capacity, and you're going to gain from that, absolutely. But the problem is you're not structuring the output of the skills training specifically around building these systems, right? You're working hard, you're going to build some conditioning 100%, but by actually structuring training and structuring sessions around building these systems more effectively, you can get a better result with it to add to the results you're getting from your skills training too. So guys, just a quick pause. If you're enjoying this, make sure that you're following me on Instagram at coach_do-so, like you see on the screen. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and wait for more videos to come out. And if you're looking for more help with your training, check out the description of this video for our one-on-one application. Fill that out, and me and my team will be in touch so we can talk about a little bit more about you, your situation, and how we can help you out. So how do we actually train the aerobic system properly? Number one is we're going to focus on aerobic power over aerobic capacity. So instead of the long zone 2, low intensity, steady state work that you see a lot of fighters focusing their time on, we want to focus on higher paced intervals. Generally 2 to 3 minutes at the max pace that you can maintain. That is very important because that is something I also get criticized on when I talk about this stuff on Instagram. Is people will be like, max pace for 3 minutes, that's impossible. Max pace you can maintain. Very important difference. If you are in the middle of one of these intervals and you crash and burn at like 75 seconds, you are not doing this session correctly, right? Makes sense? Hopefully that's clear. You should be able to keep the pace. And I mean, again, if it drops a tiny bit or you're not perfectly at the same pace, that's fine. But you should be able to hit the pace that you're working at and do that for the whole duration of the interval. And then you're going to rest approximately a 2 or 3 to 1 work to rest, which, like, as an example, 3 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest, 3 to 1, 3 minutes, 1 minute, right? You can play around a little bit with those intervals and how you're going to operate them. But basically, approximately a 2 to 3 work to rest, 2 or 3 to 1 work to rest ratio. Max pace you can maintain. You should not be crashing and burning while you go through these sets. And you're going to hit it for anywhere from like around 4 to 5 rounds. You can push it higher than that. But generally, if you're pushing a good high pace and you're getting 4 or 5 rounds in, you're doing quite well with this system. So why aerobic power, right? Why not the long distance runs? Number one, like we talked about earlier, you're getting a lot of that aerobic capacity, like the thing you're working on with those long distance runs, in your skills training already. So when you have limited time to work on your conditioning outside of skills training, doing more of the stuff you're already getting versus changing it up and building a different physical quality is going to be very important. Number two, we're still working in the aerobic training zone, doing those 2 to 3 minute intervals. And by building that system, like, that's going to be extremely effective for the fight. But since we're doing it at higher intensities, we're doing it at higher paces, keeping your body used to, can I maintain a higher pace for a little bit of a shorter time? You're teaching your aerobic system to operate at a faster pace. You're going to regenerate energy more efficiently while you're fighting. So this is going to, again, allow you to throw harder combinations, allow you to, be more explosive and maintain that explosiveness while you're grappling if you're in MMA. Basically, it allows you to use more of the gas tank without really causing fatigue. So I'm sorry, I've got a fly in my house and it just flew into my face. Now, when do we use it? This is going to be more of the focus in the off season or outside of training camp, right? So this is not a hard and fast rule. Please do not hear me say more of the focus in the off season and go, okay, only aerobic in the off season, no aerobic in training camp. Because I know people like to take like one line and just decide they know everything about what someone's saying. But this is more of a general idea. In the off season, your goal is to build your foundation, right? Making sure that that aerobic system is functioning really well. You're strong, well balanced, all of that, so that you have a stronger, fitter foundation to bring into the fight camp itself. So start building the foundation with the aerobic power work, similar to how we set it up here. And as the foundation builds, then you can start adding to it with the other energy systems. Now, another really important part is, what exercises do I use? I know we're going to have a lot of people asking about that, right? If it's not running, what is it? So the really important thing to remember is, obviously everybody has access to different equipment. So whatever equipment you have access to, you can work on aerobic power. I like the air bike. That's one of my favorite tools. If you follow my page, that'll be no secret. You see me use it a lot. But if you don't have an air bike, if you have a spin bike, a ski machine, a rowing machine, a treadmill, if you have other equipment that you can create circuits with, stick within the intervals we talked about, the 2 to 3 minutes of high intensity, the high paced work that you can maintain with the 2 or 3 to 1 work to rest ratio, and create circuits with different exercises. As long as you're not crashing and burning partway through, we're building that aerobic system. Now, again, there's not going to be the perfect way because everybody has different access to equipment, different access to facilities. But if you're sticking within that range and you're sticking to the intensities and the durations that I gave here, you're going to have a great start on training the aerobic system and seeing great results coming into your next fight. I appreciate you so much for tuning in. Again, if you want help with your training and you want to learn more about what that looks like, make sure to check out the description of the video for our one-on-one coaching application, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel and following me on social media, because we're going to be dropping a lot more great info like this. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.